Welcome to HSR for Dummies featuring Acheron, the emanator of nihility.
All that is past has returned to nihility. Just like tears eventually disappear in the rain.
HSR for Dummies is a series where I simplify a character's kit and their value in both the current meta and the future. So you can decide whether you want them in your team or you want them in your basement. So with Acheron's rerun on the corner, many people wonder if she's worth their tickets, and with the rise of the new niche metas and release of many top tier DPS, her value in the current meta have changed, or did it? Today we're gonna discuss Acheron's value on the rerun. Did her teams get an upgrade? Or did the new meta of follow-up attacks and super break overshadowed hers? Is there a potential upgrade for her in the future? And is she gonna survive in the future meta? Well, first, let's take a look at her kit. Acheron is a 5-star Nihility DPS, but fret not, even as a Nihility character, she rivals most top 0 DPSs in the game. She got it all. She can hit AoE, she can debuff, her ultimate deals shit tons of damage, she can ignore toughness completely on her ultimate, she can also be played in a dot team, she can do it all. Let's start with her technique. Acheron one-shots the enemy in the overworld. Yeah, that's it. They are dead. Thanks for watching. No, legit, she just kills them. Unless they are bosses, or trotters, or trash cans. Then she deals an amount of damage at the start of the battle and hurts their toughness bar regardless of element. But also inflicting an extra stack of slash dreams after casting an ultimate. I'll be honest, I've been playing Acheron since her release and I never noticed the second part. Her basic does nothing special. Her skill hits AoE, applying a debuff on the target.
Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past.
Wait a second, that's not Acheron. Now the important part of her kit is every time a debuff hits the enemy, she gets a stack of slash dreams. Before we get to her ultimate, let's talk about Crimson Knots. One stack of Crimson Knots can be generated per turn if an enemy gets a debuff, except if you have her signature and E2, then each of them generate an extra stack during her turn, up to 3 stacks a turn, because her skill doesn't apply a debuff, but it just generates a Crimson Knot, as well as her E2 generates an extra stack. Side note, the number of Crimson Knots and slash dreams are the same. Crimson Knots and slash dreams are basically the same thing. They are different in some ways. If you can't make the difference, then you can think of them as the same thing. I will explain the difference later. Once you gather 9 stacks, you unlock her ultimate. Slash dream cries in red. Acheron pulls out her Misuna Hitotachi, putting everybody into her domain expansion. Why do I feel like this looks familiar?
Upon this statue.
In this form she gets to do 3 single target attacks, but if the target has Crimson Knots, she can deal a blast attack and extra damage to all enemies. Don't worry, the auto-targeting always chooses the right target with the most Crimson Knots stacks. During the ultimate, enemies have their resistance reduced and toughness regardless of the element, then finishing it off with a blast hit that obliterates whatever dares to stay alive. Now with the Crimson Knots and Slash Dreams stacks, it's basically 2 faces of the same coin. Slash Dreams is applied to you, whereas Crimson Knots are applied to the enemy. You can hold up to 12. 9 of them will be required to cast your ultimate. You usually want them to be applied to the main boss, so you can apply maximum damage to the target. Now, how you get them is simple. You get 1 stack per skill, 1 stack per ally if they cast a debuff on an enemy, 1 per enemy if they debuff themselves. Also 1 from her main Lightcone and 1 from her E2. Also, Acheron can apply a debuff at the start of the enemy turn with his ultimate. And there is some other Lightcones that can apply a stack, like the trend of Universal Market. Unfortunately, dots don't apply stacks when they are taking effect, which is sad. We were all hoping that Black Swan and Acheron would be a perfect duo, but alas. Acheron wants to be paired with 2 Nihility characters for maximum trace buff. Usually 2 that can apply a debuff. She's basically every Nihility character. And a Sustainer that can apply a debuff or use a Lightcone that can do that. It may seem like a big requirement, but trust me, like I said before, it's 2 faces of the same coin. Just having 2 Nihility characters can fulfill most of the requirements. If an enemy dies while Crimson Knot's on his head, it gets transferred to a different enemy. Basically, you can always have the same number of Crimson Knots and Slash Dreams. It's just that one of them is applied to you and one of them is applied to the enemy. Her Lightcone is way too good. I'd recommend her Lightcone over Eidolons for the quality of life it provides for lower investment. In fact, unlike 90% of people, I don't recommend her E2 to free-to-plays and low investment accounts. She's too good at E0 S1. E2 will allow you to free 1 slot for a Harmony character, which is Sparkle mainly, but instead of pulling for 3 copies, then pulling for Acheron and Sparkle, you can use Bella or any Nihility character you own and save 3 character pulls, or 2 if you already own Sparkle. That's an insane amount of pulls and can be regretted down the line. Like, what if a new broken Nihility character supports for her gets released or sustain debuffer? Basically, she is already strong. Her E2 makes her stronger currently, but she won't benefit from future upgrades as much as E0 S1. Speaking of which, let's talk about her current and future value. She is one of the characters that ignore toughness, so that checks out. Then got a new unit that works perfectly with her, Acheron. Although she can run Gallagher or Aventurine or any preservation character with a Lightcone Trendom, and she can run down MOC like a tilted mid laner. So far, she's missing 2 corner pieces for her own team, and with new characters getting introduced into the game, her value will only rise upward. She doesn't need to adapt to new mechanics and metas, because her new teammates will be up to date, and I'm talking about E0 S1 only. So imagine if you get more Eidolons down the line. Now, is she a must pull? Well, to be honest, I can't see an account that doesn't have an Acheron, but if you don't like this character, you don't have to get her. You can make it with other characters, and this game will always release new characters that are broken or that are good, so you don't feel forced to get any character that you don't like. Now, should you get her or get Aventurine? That's the good question, instead of Acheron. I personally would not go for Aventurine instead of Acheron, but if you are someone who's building a follow-up attack team, or you need a sustainer and you don't like Acheron, then you can go for Aventurine. If you don't have one of these conditions, then go for Acheron. For me personally, I'm not going for Aventurine because he's not a necessity and he can be powercrept anytime soon or in the future. Also, I don't know if they did this on purpose, but it's like the first banner she was featured with Aventurine as well, and now they put them again together in the same phase. I'd like to thank you all for watching till the end. It really brings me joy to find my videos getting new likes every day. I'll keep working on this series and do reactions from time to time. And if you want to see something new, let me know in the comments. I hope you're all doing fine, and whatever you're going through gets changed to the positive soon. See ya.